Well, hello, my fabulous friends. I hope you're doing well. Wow, have I got a fantastic read for you today. We are going to talk about the much requested Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 that disappeared from radar on the 8th of March, 2014. So we are coming up in the new year here, will be 10 years. And now some debris has washed up on shore, and they're assuming it is from the plane, but it's not enough to really say where the plane is, where did it land. All they have is the last bit of radar, and then it just disappeared off the face of the earth. It was the most expensive search in aviation history, and they never found anything. It was going from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, Malaysia, to Beijing, and everyone on board is assumed deceased. So I've been waiting for the steampunk tarot. It's wisdom from the gods of the machine. And the reason I was waiting for it is because it has tons of aviation imagery on it. So I thought, what better to use? I'm going to use this for Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 and Malaysia Airlines Flight 17, which will be the next video. I want to dig deep and see what happened and see if we can figure out where this airplane is. All right, so the cards have been in I'm also going to show you what I do when I get a brand new deck. The cards have been in my energy for the last 2 weeks. They've been right beside me. They've been in my energy when I've read other tarot cards, so they're really adapted to my energy, the way I read cards. And now I'm just shuffling them to get to know them a little bit better. And then I'm going to show you how. People always ask me, how do you know that your cards want to be read in reverse or not in reverse? I'm going to show you exactly what I do. All right, these ones seem really kind of sticky, and they feel like the energy, like, look at how they are. Oh, they're ready to talk. They're like, okay, we're ready to talk. They don't like being riffed like that. Let's try it again. No, they're saying, please don't do that. Okay, I won't. So now I'm going to ask the cards, do you want to be read in reverse? And I look, 10 of engines. Now look, does that look like a nice positive? Now this deck has engines are wands. So this would be 10 of wands. So this would be a burden. So this would be no. This deck does not want to be read in reverse. So I won't. And that's the way I check all my decks. If it's a good positive card, if it's an ace, if it's an empress, even an emperor, if it's a court card, if it's like the 9 of Pentacles, then because of course I always check while they're all upright, then that means yes, we wouldn't mind being, that doesn't bother us. But when it's a definite no, like 10 of wands, which is burden, no, reading this particular deck in reverse would be a burden, and it doesn't want to be read in reverse. It also is telling me it doesn't like to be shuffled that way, so this deck I will try and shuffle just this way, just gently. That's how I get to know my deck. And if you want to be an aspiring tarot reader, the best thing you can do is get to know your deck, listen to your deck, and the more you listen to your deck and get to know your deck, the more accurate your answers are going to be. So I just really thought also too, the picture of the world, the wings flying around the world. I just thought it just has a lot of aviation, and I thought this is perfect for, I've been wanting to do this read for a very long time. This one and Malaysia Airlines 17, which happened only 4 months later. So just a few things about this missing flight. Now, it was 8th of March, 2014. 4 months later, Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 disappeared, was shot out of the air, which was shot down while flying over Ukraine on the 17th of July, 2014. So what does this all have in common? Well, 1 and 7 make 8. So 17th of July, but it's still an 8. And the 8th of March, which is an 8. And those of you in my tarot class, the book I posted about numbers, you'll understand the significance of that both of them were downed on a date that was an 8. So an 8 would be obviously 8, 17, 26. All three of those are 8 days, 8 dates. And it's interesting that both flights were down on an 8, and an 8 is Saturn. So Saturn is also a lot of karma, a lot of, everybody talks about their Saturn return. It's like lessons learned. So was Malaysia Airlines, were they starting to become negligent and sloppy? And, see, they don't want to be, sorry. Were they starting to be sloppy? And so Saturn came down on them on Saturn's day. Saturn's day is Saturday, or any 8 day is a Saturn. And said, we got to teach you a lesson. And they didn't learn the lesson the first time, so it was hit again. And the second time, it was Flight 17 on the 17th. So first thing I'm going to ask is, can you give us a general idea of what happened? They still don't really know. They have a lot of educated guesses. What happened on 8th of March, 2014 to Malaysia Airlines Flight 370? What happened? What happened? Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. What happened? What happened that made it disappear? What was it? Was it pilot error? Was it hijacking? What was it? Cards are ready. Ooh, these are snappy. Oh, Hierophant. But this is called a horologer. What did I just tell you about the 8? Now this is a 5. But what did I just tell you about 8 and Saturn? And time. Saturn is also Chronos and time. And I see some clocks up here, and I see some things being smashed down here. Let's see, what else do we have here? Cyborg. See, these cards are funky. 4 of airships. 2 of airships. So now we're starting to get some humans here. Navigator of airships. Who is the pilot? It was the pilot and the crew. Because look at, we got airships, and we have actual people. Cyborg, this is the devil. So we have the Hierophant and the devil. But now we come in and we have the 4 of airships, so negligence. So maybe they were, they were ignoring something. 2 of airships, we had some kind of, they were ignoring something. Airships are swords. So 2 of swords is looking at, like, being stubborn about something. Navigator of airships is the king of swords. But look at, that's the pilot. That's the pilot, but there was some kind of agreement. Or I think there might have been something wrong. Something was wrong, but they decided to go ahead and fly anyways. They didn't want to see it. They were stubborn. We got to get going. We got to get going. With the devil here, what is going on? Explorers, the lover. 8 of submersible, 8 of cups on top of it. Yes, look at that. That almost looks like a plane blowing up in the air. There's this, it was night, so there's the moon behind. Interesting that this is submersibles, but yet this looks like something blowing up in the air. I told you these cards were awesome. 4 of, I don't know what this one is. I wonder if they sent out Mayday, by morning. This is all do you remember seeing all the families at the airport? And look at that. That almost looks like it's coming in from China. Because it was mostly Chinese nationals on the flight. And what does that say? Emeralds or Emirates? But look at, there's almost looks like the color of the flag of China. And do you remember seeing on the news all the people at the airport crying and crying and crying? Two of Leviathans. Seven of submersibles. This is telling me that plane is under the sea. It did not, it blew up in the air, but it is under the sea. It is deep under the sea. So it's not in a jungle anywhere. It did not land on land, because that's a possibility as well. They were looking at, has it landed on, a lot of those islands are like they're like jungles. And it would take an act of God to almost find an airplane in that. And so this is telling me the plane is definitely under the sea. The captain had something to do with it. The captain had something to do with it. What's underlying here? Five of love. That's Pentacles, Ace of Levantines. So this is the search. Look at the searchlights. And they did search a lot on land. 6 of submersibles. Is this the same captain? Oh yeah, look at the captain. So did he have time? Did they survive under the water for a while and have time? I don't know, can you see that? I don't want it to blur. To contact loved ones. Were they trying to contact loved ones? And there were some wasn't there some people who said my phone keeps pinging, or I'm calling them and it's ringing? That's what it was. 5 of submersibles. I think they were alive when it went in the water, and they knew. They knew. 7 of engines. This almost looks like somebody getting ready to go on a submarine ride down These cards are very, they're not typical tarot, so I can't read them like typical tarot. Eight of Leviathans. I wonder if they tried to fix something while they were underwater. I wonder if they tried to fix something. Because I'm getting so many engines here, I wonder if it was a combination of pilot error and engines and engine trouble. I wonder if it had something to do with a recent repair that was done on it, on one of the engines, because we have 9 of engines here as well. 10, this tells me that they have, they've all moved on. They've all moved on. This also tells me that one day they will find it. Look at it lifting the plane out of the, one day they will find it. One day it will be found. It'll be like the Titanic, like in 100 years from now. Oh, look at that, the captain of submersibles. So yeah, I think a military is going to find it somehow, by accident or some kind of military. They'll stumble upon it, some kind of submarine or even like a military zone. They're, maybe they're monitoring a war zone or just a peace zone or something. And they'll accidentally run across it. 4 of submersibles. I think people have, I think this is telling us that, because this chair is empty, that, oh no, it's not. He just has a weird head. I thought that was the chair. And I think this is like, I'm just seeing like what I'm mostly seeing here is the organ pipes and the octopus. And I think what I'm getting here with this 4 of submersibles is that there's like one person or just a handful of people that is still holding up hope. I don't think they're going to find it by looking for it. I think they're going to stumble upon it. I think a military ship or submarine will stumble upon it. It will be found. It will be found. (777). It was flight 370. 7 of, which is would be equivalent is the 7 of Pentacles, which is, it'll take a lot of work, but eventually it will be found. Yeah, it will be found by a military, something military. Definitely. I'm thinking because now we have an airplane on the messenger of submersibles, so this would be the Knight of Cups. It might be like one of those big warships that also have planes on them, and they're just doing some random thing, and they can see the shadow or something. It will take a while, though. It will take a while, but they will eventually find the plane. So we have 7 here, 7 of Pentacles. Sometimes that can be up to another 7 years. Yeah, like it's this one lone person that's working on it. That's still trying to keep it going or keep the investigation going. They might just have like one person on it. I see them working by themselves. It's like the airline is kind of given up. And also with 7s, I believe after 7 years, you can declare someone dead, and we're going on to 10 years. So insurance would be paid up. Wills, again, insurance from the airline itself for wrongful death and all of that. That would be all paid up, but I still think they have one person who is assigned to this. But yeah, it will be found by military. And you can look at the joy in this person's face. Like he's racing back to say, we found it, we found it. And I think they're going to find people inside. They're going to find people inside. They're going to find the people. They'll be inside. Interestingly enough, I don't think there's water inside. I don't think water has leaked through. I think they'll find it all intact inside. It would be awful, though, all those bodies down there 10 years later. But they'll be able to give some of the family some peace of mind with DNA. Now, I'm going to go and let's see what was wrong with the captain. So we know it's definitely under the water. Let's see if we can get suss out something here. What was wrong with the captain? Let's clear that. Like, there was something about that he was suicidal, that he was disgruntled. Like, what's the deal here with the captain? Obviously, the card showed that he knew of a recent repair that might not have been 100%, but he went ahead anyways. Oh, what popped out here? Oh, yeah. Again, the two of airships. Look at the handshake there. Red flag. Look at the red flag. And so this would be, the airport, and this would be the airline. And so there he is shaking hands. I'm getting a sneaky feeling. I don't want to say it because I get accused of that I put my energy into the cards. I've got a feeling here about something, and I'll let you know if that's what the cards tell me. I think either he told the person who had to pass the repair or whatever, either he made a deal that it was sabotaged on purpose, or he said, it's good enough, let's go. Here, maybe for some reason, one fell on the floor. Let me see which one it is. For some reason, he was in a hurry to get that plane going. 5 of engines. So this would be 5 of wands, fighting, struggle. What was he fighting and struggling? Arguments. Did he have an argument with the... I'm really starting to get a feeling like this was not just pilot error. Maybe this was pilot sabotage. Maybe that is true about him being suicidal, the struggle that he was in. Oh, sorry. Bad habit. Sorry. These are really different jumpy cards. 10 of engines. Burden. Was he burdened? Suspension tank, hanged man. I can't remember. Was there something about him being passed over for a promotion or something? The Empress. Oh, was he having partner problems? Spring-heeled Jack. Death. Look at that, and the red cape, and the red cape. Death. Messenger of airships. This would be the Knight of Swords. I'm just going to outright ask the cards. Was the pilot suicidal? Was this Was the pilot suicidal? Was the pilot suicidal? Was the pilot suicidal? Wouldn't that be sickening? Was the pilot suicidal? And I just realized there's boobies on there. Was the pilot suicidal? Navigator. King of... This would be the King of Pentacles. But there he is. The captain. I don't think he was suicidal. This isn't a suicidal card. This is a retirement card. But it's not a suicidal card. No, he wasn't suicidal. Spirit gauge. Explorers. We have the Empress showed up as well. 8 of airships. 8. I think he was having partner problems. And maybe he was just being negligent, but I don't think he was suicidal. No, I'm not getting suicide at all. I'm getting that he was negligent and he was having partner problems. We have the Empress that showed up. And now the Explorers, which is the Lovers. And the Spirit gauge, which is the Tower. So I think he may have been distracted by a lover's spat. No, he wasn't suicidal. He wanted to retire doing what he was doing. He was on his way to making a lot of money, so he wasn't suicidal. But he did have partner problems. He did. Moon. Magician and the Ace of Engines. Yeah, he made it. You know what? Like, as they go through, I don't know how many points before they get on the plane, right? Are you having this problem? Have you had alcohol in the last 24 hours? You know, are you having money problems? All pilots do this. It's industry wide. You go through, you know, did you sleep well last night? You know, how many hours, whatever it is. It's a checklist system before they're even allowed on the plane. And this looks like he, with the moon here, he made it look like he was doing better than he was. This is the Magician. So the moon, the Magician, and the Ace of Engines. He's like, yeah, all good. All good, boss. And he checked off a lot of yes things when they should have been no. And saying that he was having stress in his relationship. And, you know, he was a bit distracted and a bit stressed about it. And the clock agrees with me. So he wasn't suicidal, but he was distracted. He was negligent in the fact that maybe because he was distracted by what was going on in his inner world and his world with his partner, that when the repair guy, there was the other card showed me there was some kind of repair, which is quite natural. Planes land and, oh, this needs to be done and this needs to be done, and before it can take off again. And maybe it wasn't quite, but maybe he wanted to get back to Beijing or back home so get to Beijing, drop off those passengers, turn the flight around and come back so that he could deal with what was going on at home. Or maybe he had to be back like before she was leaving somewhere on her own holiday or something. But instead of delaying that flight, he decided to go anyways. There was the engine problem. Something blew up in the air. The plane land, it is underwater. They did survive, and they were trying to communicate somehow. and that plane is still underwater and intact. So when they do find it, and they'll find it by accident, a military will find it by accident, they will find how much is intact inside. Now, of course, some people may have passed, injured as the plane crashed down, but some people did survive. Some people did survive, which is horrific, if you ask me. He, with this moon card here, he made it look like he was good to go with the Ace of Wands. Good to go, good to go. So he wasn't suicidal. He was distracted. He was negligent. It absolutely was his fault. This card came up twice. He pushed the repairs on it and said, yeah, it's good, right? Sign it off. Sign it off. I got to get going. Because he knew he had to land there and be back in time for something to do with his partner. Whether they were leaving, whether they were going on a holiday or something. But he was not suicidal. No, not at all. And they will eventually find it. Well, that's about all I can get out of that's all. I think we've summed it up quite nicely. I don't know if these cards I don't know if they'll tell us exactly where the plane is. Yeah, it's underwater. I don't know how it would be able to tell me what country it's close to. You even look here. I guess it could say it's near shore. Let's just try and see. If it can tell us a general idea. I'll just draw 5 cards of where it could possibly be found. If it's going to be found accidentally by the military, it can't be that deep. And if some people said that they were able to, the phone would ring, their cell phones would ring. And I believe there was even one person who said they actually got an answer, but the signal was so weak, the phone was actually picked up. But the signal, sorry cards, but it's a bad habit. Maybe they like it now because that was quite easy. And I think they're getting to know me. So where approximately is this plane underwater? Oh, look at that. Explorers, so lovers. So I would say maybe 2 countries that get along. Oh, look at this, did show up. So it is near shore. It is near shore. Well, yeah, we know it's underground. 9 of submersibles. Lady of 11. So pentacles. Lady. 8 of airships. There's the 8. So it's underwater, near shore, near 2 countries that get along. Again, this looks to me like it's not that deep. Like here's the bottom. This looks to me like it's not that deep. Oh, look what I just saw here. Pirate symbol. Where are the pirates? Lady of Left. So this would be the Queen of Pentacles. I'm looking here to see some kind of clue. Somewhere. Oh, a lighthouse? See that? And then she has like the light. So is it near shore, near a lighthouse? Was he maybe aiming for land? 8 of airships. I'm going to say he did get above the clouds, because look at the clouds here. So he did get above the clouds. So then you'd have to do some kind of math that, you know, if he was above the clouds, where would the plane go down, right? Like if you've ever been on a long distance plane, they start coming down quite a bit out. They don't like go up and then straight down. They start descending quite a ways out because they want to make sure your ears are popping and popping and popping, right? So I think he got up above the clouds. So then you'd have to figure out how long it would take the plane to descend in a way that it wouldn't just land on the water, that it would go in the water. It's near a shore, near a lighthouse. It's not that deep in the water. It really isn't. I mean, it's certainly not something that, you know, you'd bump into if you were surfing, but it's not 20,000 leagues under the sea. It's not. It's near 2 countries that get along together. So I'm not sure what those would be in that area. And I think it's near, yeah, there's a lighthouse, maybe not like really close by, but close by. So look along a shore where a lighthouse is and then go out into that area. Yeah, and I like, yeah, you know what? So they were up above the clouds, so they got that high before they started to descend down. So what would that take? Because you don't just, so do the math, and that would be like and then look around a shore where there's a lighthouse, where 2 countries that get together. All right, well, that's the best I can offer. I did my best. And I guess the cards did kind of come out and give us some ideas of where it is. Interesting to see if a military finds it and where they find it. Wouldn't that freak you out if these cards were absolutely right? Ooh, cool stuff. All right. Thank you very much for watching. I sure appreciate your time. Share this with somebody else who you think might be interested in flight MH370. And watch for tomorrow because I'm going to be doing MH17 that was blown out of the sky over Ukraine only 4 short months later. Is there a connection? We'll soon find out. Thanks for watching. Take good care. Bye for now.